Hello, everyone. How are you doing tonight? Today, it's a very important night. Sorry for those who were waiting for my live. Um, Hope everyone it's okay out there. So, today, it's a very important live because it's the first which I give in English. For those who doesn't know English, well, I don't know what you can do if you wouldn't understand what I say, right? So, hello from London today, which was a very funny story for today, I will tell you. And uh, today I will talk about the importance of English or knowing another language, right? I was very late today because I had a guest which was from France and we were talking about everything. And well, this is one of the most important reasons that I actually chose my career speaking in or talking about English language, right? He was from France, but we were speaking in English, which it's our well the language we could communicate, right? So as you can see, this is the Elizabeth Tower, and in this year it was one of the most important years of my life because I could actually had a dream come true, right? But because of the COVID, as you could see, I shared it. It was canceled, my flight. Well, actually, we canceled it because we couldn't get into the country because of the COVID. But anyways, well, that's one of the reasons that I'm sharing this live in English because language or the English language is one of the most important tools that you can actually get when you are into business because you can get very good information in English, right? Where and it's an information where you cannot find everywhere. Like it's very different to know things in Spanish or in Latin America, talking about business, entrepreneurial stuff, and where you cannot find, things which I have learned during the all these years where I have been, into the business stuff, and I have learned from people who are actually, from I don't know, from another part of the world, and I can take as much as I can from this business, which are from other countries, and I can learn from there, from these people who are actually billionaires or whatever. And well, you can learn a lot from them, right? One of my biggest mentors, which is Robert Kiyosaki, this guy was the guy who opened completely my mind, and where I am very thankful that I know English because I can understand what he actually wants to say, And in these days, he's preparing some. Well, there's a very good event from him, and where I can actually have information, very important information, what you will do for the next year, the 2021, right? Which is actually to get very well, having strategies for your business or what you are going to do for the next year, right? So, what? Why is it important to know another language? Well, because it opens completely your mind. You can learn from different cultures. You can learn from different people who have different thoughts, and it has a different view, talking about businesses, you can learn about the entrepreneurial stuff that are actually from other countries because it's totally different, no? The way that they hustle in there, for example, in the United States, it's totally different. The way that they do the taxes and everything, but there is one key or main key that you can continue with your entrepreneurial, and you can actually get even if it's more difficult, for example here in Latin America, Mexico or whatever. It's just one thing, it's the way that you think, and that's one important tool where you will have to change in the end. You will have to change the way you think, and it's changing the way that you are thought, which is, as I always say, it's like something that you are taught from the beginning. I started there, and it's a chip that they put into your mind, like being an employee, 30 years, 40 years, whatever, and continue with your life, getting some liabilities, debt, going to debt, and you know, not really good stuff what you can learn outside, and you can learn from other people who are actually teaching this kind of stuff about financial education, where you can do a lot of things, and you can take and acquire it to your life, and you can make your life easier because you can learn things from other people who are actually doing it, are actually doing business, and you can, let's say, transform it into your context and make your life easier, right? One of the most important things that I learned from Robert Kiyosaki was the quadrant, the cash flow quadrant, and the way that that you have to go for those assets more than going for the liabilities, and people don't really know what the difference is, between one and another, and a real one, a real asset or a real liability would be totally different from what we are taught. An asset is that one who gives you or makes you money without doing anything. Actually, it's that money that you make while you are sleeping, right? Without moving a single finger. And that's what I am always trying. Since I started my business career, I always try to focus on those businesses who make you, or who give me cash flow, or who give me those income, that passive income, where I can spend on my stuff, right? And that's what you have to do. First, you need to know the difference between an asset and liability, and what really is, right? An asset, as I said already, is the one who gives you money without doing or moving a finger. Well, and this is one mistake that people believe, that they think that an asset, you buy it and it's from one day to another, which is not. It's totally the opposite. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, of course, to make an asset, and who have this money work for you, and who that give you actually money, where you can expand on your gift or whatever your do that, whatever you want to buy, your experiences, your toys, your cars, your house, whatever. You have to make it from an asset. If you don't make assets, you will live in the rat race forever, and that means that you won't have an extra income who pays you the expenses that you have, and that's the life, the way, the life that you want to have. It's not the same be financial freedom that be that have or have a potential income, and to have to be wealthy, let's say. Well, more like wealthy, it's rich. Rich is measured, in money, in cash, in whatever, and wealth is measured in time. So a rich person would be that person who have a lifestyle. It will have $1 billion, for example. You will have $1 billion, but if you have a higher standards on life, you will live, or you will be rich for 1 year, 2 years, and that's it. And you will not be wealthy. On the opposite, the wealth it's measured by time, and the time, it's what you it's the time that you will live without moving any finger. You can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, you three generations, you can create wealth. And that's the way that we have to think, to think on creating wealth, and not just to be rich, just to be a billionaire, but to create wealth, and to be financial free, and not just for our generation. It's to give three generations at least of money, so you can have this cash flow, these assets, who creates more money and more money, and that's an endless thing, where you can have these assets, you know and on the opposite, the liability is that one who takes you money from your pocket without even realizing that it's taking you money. One of the most the biggest mistakes that people think is their biggest asset is their houses, which is not. The actually your house, people think they invested in one thing, and they think that their houses, it's an asset, because they will give you money eventually, no. But it's not. It's taking you money every day with the maintenance, the way that you have to pay for it, your rentals, everything. So you have to it's taking you day by day. It's taking you money from your pocket even when you are sleeping, right? And what you have to do is to think on the way that you can find an asset, and you can actually create this money from nothing. It's like being sleeping. It's actually making you money, and that's what I do. I think, and I'm looking for always. I'm looking for opportunities who gives me this kind of cash flow, or this kind of assets that gives me money without doing anything. Of course, that doesn't mean that you're going to your bed and just sleep, and not doing anything. But the part of this is to gain more time to life. That's it. It's like gain the race, what is so called a rat race, and be wealthy, and not be on that career. Even if you have a lot of money, I know a lot of people who have a lot of money, and they are still in the same rat race, and they don't continue, they don't go for more, they don't create wealth, and they don't share it. The one thing which is important is to share it with other people. The more that you have, the more that you can give, and that's one people think that rich people or wealthy people, it's very bad, which is not. Actually are the ones who give more to people, and that's one mistake that people think. They let's say that the rich create the rules, right? And that is something true, because they create employments, and they create these jobs, and they create everything. So you can have, or they get together with the government, and they can create wealth to everyone. But people, or this kind of these rich people, don't want you to open your mind, to open to this kind of a mindset where you can create actually wealth, and to go out of the rat race, to be financially free, to do whatever you want, to make your dreams come true, like mine. It's this going to London was one of the biggest dreams that I've ever had. Why? Well, because first I studied English, and I have a bachelor's degree in English language. And this is one of my biggest dreams, to go to the Elizabeth Tower, which right now that's the name. And to this year was very important, because I could create this money, which we all need. As for those people who say that money is not important, well, it's very important, because it can help you to create, or to have these experiences, to go abroad, to meet new people, to have new experiences, and to expand completely your mind, right? So some examples of assets, or real assets, it could be like rented properties. Like, let's say you rent or you buy some properties and you rented it, and they give you like a monthly cash flow, right? After your expensive, you create an asset that you can have like 100, 200, $500, etc. So one another real asset would be businesses, but with a business system, right? Remember, businesses, as I said, is not for everyone. In these days, it's one of the most difficult things to do, and I don't really recommend you if you don't have the the pants to go for it, like to be a hustler and to stand like the hits from life, and to stand the way that you can actually manage your emotions, your feelings, and everything, and you can have this or create this business from zero to hero, and to have this business with a system, and it works without your presence, without being in there, without being a fire, extinguisher or whatever. And that's it. It creates you wealth because it's working without you, and that's an asset, a real asset, right? Some people think, for example, I have some businesses who are not assets for me, and I invest a lot of money on there, and I don't really have like this kind of income monthly, right? But some of them, they do. Even when I don't do anything, I will create some wealth, and I will get some money from nothing, from doing nothing, like nothing. It's not precisely doing nothing, but to make things like to be, you know, uh, one other real assets would be like investment in funds, or investment in not precisely trading, but in trading funds, which they will create you this cash flow, which will give you constantly or monthly, will give you your money, and that means you are not doing anything. You are putting money work for you. And as I always tell you, it's something very important that you have to do, to put your money work for you and not work for the money. And if you can work with your money, that's even better, because you are creating more while you're having more, and it's an endless, row that you can create more and more and more, right? An example of liability would be your house, that I already told you, the life that you live in, your children. It's something that takes you, if you have children, it's something that takes you day by day or monthly. You need to spend, right, a lot of money on there. So your car, you need to pay for the gas, you need to pay for the repairments, or you need to pay for anything that you buy to your car. It's something that takes you every day, every month. It takes you money from you without sleeping, right now. For example, my car in these days, which I'm not using it too much, it's like I even having it parked in my parking lot, it would be like taking me money from me, and if you don't take advantage of it, you won't do anything with it, and you cannot create more wealth from it. Your phone, credit cards, which takes you money, well, you can have loans, but loans that you don't do anything with. Having debt or having loans doesn't mean that you can that it's bad. It's the way that you do it. If you do it well, you can create money with it. That's the way I do. I manage my loans. I manage my credits. I manage bad debt. Well, I create it into good debt, and I create wealth, and I create money without doing anything. So I want to show you, right? This I think I will share you in another live, which is the cash flow quadrant, and where you can the first live that I gave you, it was to the starting point, and it's to focus where you are precisely. If you're an employee, if you're a business owner, if you are a small business owner, or if you are an investment from the inside, it's to an investor, sorry, is to give actually to know where you are and where you are starting. And it's something that you can go everywhere in the quadrant. I will be more specific later on this on this cash flow quadrant, but it's something very important that I learned from other people. In this case, Robert Kiyosaki, I learned it from his words. I was right in front of him, and he said the way that people actually, well, that the schools actually teach you. And it's not only here in Mexico. It's everywhere. It's the way that the school system works. And it's there's a documentary where which I recommend you, which is I don't remember the name, but it's from Jordan Clark, which is says the crime, so-called education, or something like that. So you can find it in YouTube. You can find it. It's the way that you are controlled to be an employee and not to think for your dreams, to go for it. So it's important for you to have this kind of mindset, to change it completely. And it's important, of course, to be out of your comfort zone. I recommend you really to learn another language. It's not something that I really, it's if you want to learn it from me, that's correct. That's okay. I can teach you English. You can learn English, and you can learn the way that you can you can change your mind, and you can open your mind to other level. That's the way I do, and that's the way that you can see that I learn things that you wouldn't learn everywhere. For example, this event that is coming the next week, I am very grateful that I have these tools and I can open my mind. It's like I think globally. The way my businesses are to think globally and to go further away, right? Well, that's it for today, entrepreneurs. I hope you have the best from me, as usual. I wish you the very good luck on these days. I wish you to open your mind and to look for very great opportunities, and to to make more and more assets to create wealth on your life. So I really wish you the best as usual, and I'll see you the next Wednesday. Remember, at 9 p.m. on the Entrepreneur Wong Live. And have a great weekend. My blessings and God's blessings. Have a great night and success to everyone. And see you on the top. Well, we will go to the top together. Bye.